Story number 1. Am I in the wrong for not telling my wife that I'm actually pretty rich? I, 31M, from a pretty small town in the south. Literally the most humdrum, mundane place you can imagine. Then there is Jody, which is not her actual name. A woman I met 2 years ago that made me smile whenever I think about. And for that reason, I don't want to ruin this with her. Jody and I are 3 weeks away from our wedding, and I'm sitting on a secret that could potentially ruin our relationship forever. Jody is the kind of person who finds comfort in the struggle. We met when we were both working entry-level retail, sharing falafel bowls and splitting the rent on a studio apartment with a leaky ceiling. She always says that our broke years are what built our foundation. She prides herself on us being a self-made couple who will eventually make it to a mortgage by our late 30s. She has this vision of us earning every single piece of furniture and every brick of our future home through sheer overtime and sacrifice. But the thing is, I'm not even broke, not even close. Back in 2021, I threw a few $1,000s, which is the money I had saved from a grueling roofing business I did in the summer, into a handful of crypto and meme coins, which was really a joke. I basically treated it like a lottery ticket, and then completely forgot about the digital wallet for years. About 6 months ago, I finally dug up the USB and logged in. I invested in 4 coins. 3 of those coins vanished. The money is gone. I lost everything that I invested. One of those projects, on the other hand, had absolutely exploded into a mainstream meme coin. After taxes and moving things into more stable assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm looking at profits just over $2.4 million. Damn, that's a lot of cash. I haven't told a soul, not my parents, not my best man, and definitely not Jody. I'm still driving my beat-up 2014 Subaru with a peeling paint. I still complain about the price of eggs at the grocery store. I even let Jody pay for her half of our modest wedding venue because she insisted it was important for us to start our life as equals, and that she didn't want a handout from anyone, including me. Every time she pulls out her calculator to see if we can afford a premium photography package for the wedding, I just nod and pretend to crunch the numbers with her. I didn't know people still use calculators. Okay, the guilt is starting to override the caution. Last night I found her at the kitchen table, crying over her student loan balance. She was stressed because she didn't think we could afford a honeymoon, even a cheap one. I have the money to pay off her loans, buy her a new car, and book a first-class flight to the Maldives 10 times over without breaking a sweat. I almost told her right then. The words were on the tip of my tongue. But then I thought about how she talks about honesty. She loves the man she thinks I am. I am the guy who was grinding right alongside her. If I tell her now, I have to admit I have been lying for months. I have to explain why I sat there and watched her stress over bills while I was sitting on a literal fortune. I'm worried that if I reveal the lucky break, it'll ruin the struggling together narrative she values so much. I'm scared she will look at me and see a stranger. Or worse, someone who didn't trust her enough to be honest. I don't want to lose my Jody. Am I wrong for keeping this under wraps? I don't want you to lose your Jody either, my friend. You don't have to keep this under wraps. So, you know you have 2.4 millions. But no one that is close to you knows that. How about you just tell her the truth, but not the complete truth, or at least not for now. You don't have to say that you made 2.4 millions out of crypto and 6 months ago you realized it and you didn't want to tell her. No, you just say that I invested some money into crypto way back, and some of the crypto coins I invested in, they skyrocketed. And I saw my digital wallet and I made close to $400,000. And that I don't want to tell anyone about this except you. I don't want a bunch of my distant relatives knocking on our doors begging for money, because this is a small town. Eventually, everything becomes public news. The good news now, after you tell her, you have revealed a very dangerous secret to her. But you can live the life you dreamed of. But now you've basically confessed. You can then tell her that I'm investing some of the money that I made into stocks and forgetting about it. That way in the future, you have a way of telling her that I made more money, that I have more money now. You can tell her that we're gonna work our normal jobs, we're gonna have a normal life. No one needs that. No one needs to know that we're, loaded. That way, you didn't really lie to her. And the only reason I'm telling you that you should only disclose the $400,000 and not the whole $2.4 million is to have a safety net. Disclosing everything puts you in a bad position financially. I have known people who would burn, maybe not in real life, but all over the internet, all over these years. I've known people who would burn through millions in just a year or so. Look at the lottery winners. Look at any lottery winner that ever existed. They would burn through tens of millions in a span of few years, since the means of making money didn't involve long or hard work. It was by accident. So bottom line, you should tell her that we are financially stable, because the longer you wait, the more difficult this is gonna get for you. What else? What other advices could I give you? You should definitely invest in some stocks though. Like, this isn't something just to tell her. No, you should invest in some stocks. Don't invest back into crypto. That's my opinion. Invest in Nvidia or Tesla stock, and don't ask me why. But just don't go too crazy, because you never know what happens. I wish you a happy marriage. You said 3 weeks, so by the time this goes out, you're probably married now. So congratulations to you and your wife. God, I wish I had invested in Bitcoin when it was like dirt cheap. It's a very weird type of feeling, by the way, knowing that if you had spent a couple of $100s back in 2011, which is not really that far back, now you would be a multi-millionaire. Just think about it. If you spend $1,000 to buy Bitcoins in 2011, you would probably have tens if not hundreds of millions today. Damn. Yeah, that's life. Anyway, second story. Am I the a-hole for taking a girl out to a show without dinner after? I asked the lady I had met recently out on a date. I suggested a music show. The show starts at 7:30 p.m. She got there at 8:30 p.m. Already it was irritating, but she apologized and she bought me a drink, so it wasn't really a big deal. I put that aside. We watched the rest of the show, which was about an hour. When the show ended, I told her I had to head home, which was about an hour away. I had genuinely some things to do and thought the date was the actual show and the show only. A few drinks and an early one, and that's it. She said she was hungry and she didn't have time to eat before leaving home, and she expected dinner. I told her I need to be off soon. Dinner takes so much longer. Dinner would take so much longer than I had anticipated, and we could reschedule for our second date and have a nice, longer night, including a fancy dinner. She said there won't be a second one, as I broke a very important rule of asking someone out on a date. This led to a back and forth, and it really made me wonder if I am the asshole. So am I the asshole? In my book, no, definitely not. If I wait for someone, for anyone, for a whole hour, and they don't show up, or I don't hear from them, they don't send me a message, they don't call me, nothing, I'm gonna assume they changed their mind and they stood me up. That's what I would assume. Which is one of those little things that tell me a lot about someone. Punctuality. If someone treats my time as unimportant and trivial and that this is, normal thing, that is all I need to know, that this individual is not gonna be compatible with me. But here's the thing, she apologized. So I guess I would let that pass. But you said you had things to do and you can't risk being late. And from the start, dinner was not something you agreed on. So based on the story, it's just a music show. You didn't tell her that I'm taking you out for dinner, even though it's like, I wouldn't say it's common courtesy, but it's pretty common to have dinner when you're out. But you didn't agree on it. And this is all about agreement and discussion. But here's the good thing. You offered to go out for dinner on your second date, so you wasn't completely weird about it. If she had a sliver of emotional and social intelligence, she would accept. If she's that hungry, she can eat by herself. Lady, you're not married yet. This is literally the first date. She gave you an ultimatum. On the first freaking date. Who the hell does that? That should tell you a lot about her. I don't think you two are compatible. I could be wrong. Dating in 2026 is wild. Next story. Would I be the a-hole if I told my brother the real reason our family fell apart? About 5 years ago, my F25 parents split apart and are currently undertaking divorce proceedings. My brother 20M is currently living with my dad, while I live with my mom. With their houses only being 20 minutes away from one another, both my parents are very tense and are not civil during these proceedings. When they announced their divorce, I had learned that my mom had an emotional affair for a few months, and this had led to the divorce. This has led my brother to blame my mother for ruining the family and blaming her for the split of our family, and they're not currently speaking. However, I know that my dad had a physical affair before this occurred and had heard him and his lover being physical in the house while my mother was home. However, my dad does not know this information, or that I know he has cheated. My father is currently blaming my mother for splitting the family apart and is one of the driving reasons for my brother not speaking to my mom, and says that she cheated on him. My question is, would I be the a-hole if I told my brother the real version of what happened? And some of the things to consider are, my parents are underway with divorce proceedings, and if this causes many tensions between them, this can cause financial stress between the both of them, and my mom could lose lots of money. My mom is aware, I know, of the affair. However, she's worried about any implications of telling anyone. Many people who have chosen my dad's side in the divorce are aware of this. Okay. So, normally I would say you shouldn't reveal such information because it usually adds no value and it causes more harm than benefit. But in this specific context here, your brother deserves to know. And your mom doesn't deserve to take the full hit, the full damage, and your father just walking away with little damage, so that at least your brother gets the full picture. Because, don't get me wrong, both of your parents had some form of infidelity. Your brother thinks that only his mom is to blame, and your father is well aware of this, and he's weaponizing it in his favor. Since we're talking about this, I think I have to touch upon this. If you had discovered that your partner has cheated on you, the best thing to do for your own sanity and for the sake of children, if there are any, is to either work it out and make sure it never happens again, which, as many of you know, has a very weak chance of success. Which brings us to the other thing you can do. Leave the relationship. Don't try to take revenge by also cheating. It might feel like the best thing to do, to feel better about yourself and that you're taking revenge, but in the long run it does more damage than benefit. So, in summary, no, you wouldn't be the asshole for telling your brother about that. Next story. Am I the a-hole if I divorced my wife because she said she didn't love me after being married to me for 3 years? I've been married to my wife for 3 years, and I can't believe that she is telling me now, after living together for so long, that she didn't love me. I'm 26, she's 25. Her mom is my mom's friend. Our moms introduced us to each other, and after we got to know each other for maybe 7-9 months, we agreed to marry each other. I was living happily with her. She's a housewife, and I'm the working male. So I don't know why would you describe yourself as the working male. Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me. So I never suspected her to not love me, and she's just been tolerating me this whole time. About 2 weeks ago, my wife told me that she has a confession to make and asked me if I would listen to her with an open mind. I told her that whatever it is that she needs to tell me, I will listen. I will find a solution to her problem because I'm her husband. She told me that when we got married, she didn't really love me enough to get married to me. She got married to me because she found me as a suitable partner for her. She told me she was still in love with another man when she was married to me, and she couldn't get over him after he ditched her. She told me that over time she started falling for me, and she loves me now more than anything else because I'm more of a man than her ex will ever be, for treating her bad and leaving her without a thought, while I am the opposite. I take care of her, I work hard for her, and love her unconditionally. I kept listening, and after she was done, I asked her why did she tell me this, or what she was trying to achieve. She says she feels guilty for not telling me the truth. She felt that she was betraying me by marrying me, but still loving some other man, and the guilt was eating her for more than a year. I told her that I understand where she's coming from, but it's actually a lot for me. I was expecting worse, but this is the worst. And if she doesn't love me, we can divorce instead of being stuck in a loveless marriage. She said she loves me, and I'm misunderstanding her. She's telling me the truth because she loves me now, and I deserve to know the truth. After our discussion, I pretended to be normal in front of her, but deep down, I'm hurt. My wife comforts me and promises me of love and loyalty, but I'm considering divorce. I feel like divorce will set us free. I asked my sisters for advice, and they're saying that marriage requires sacrifice and compromises, and she's trying her best and coming clean to me, so I shouldn't divorce her. Okay. I understand your pain, my brother. You're hurt because you feel you've been living a lie for 3 years. and the entirety of your emotions you have for her feel like they're built on a lie that just crumbled like a few days ago. But let me tell you something. This thing that I'm gonna tell you is definitely gonna bring me a lot of hate, but that's okay with me. Love by itself doesn't really exist. There is no such thing as love by itself. And I'm not talking about it from a biological perspective, no. Love is nothing but a mixture of actions, a collection of actions that you have towards a person or an object. So, some of these actions that you can actually exert or exercise: admiration, interest, attention, care, kindness, respect, protection. These are the actions of love. This is how you prove that you have love. Love by itself is like tongues of flame, okay? We know that these tongues of flame are the product of combustion of flammable gases. We know that, but we don't actually know what they're made of. We can't take a chunk of these tongues of flame and study them under the microscope. We can study their effects and their actions. So this is actually a classic example of arranged marriage, because arranged marriages don't really start with a spark of love. It's really the equivalent of walking to a restaurant, seeing someone, a complete stranger, having a conversation with them, and just proposing. There is no love. There might be sexual chemistry, attraction, but the love isn't there at first. What's important is what she thinks now. If you have this gut feeling that your wife has those feelings of admiration, attention, respect that I mentioned earlier, then she is in fact in love with you, and she wanted to confess that to you, because maybe it was a burden she couldn't handle anymore, which is a good sign. She wants to admit something just for the sake of honesty between you two. Now here's the tricky part, okay? You can't lie to yourself. You cannot lie to yourself. If that confession, she said, turned your switches off completely, which, from what I can tell from the story, it did, then staying with her is gonna harm both of you. This is my advice. Accept what she told you, move on like nothing happened, and see if life with her is something you want or not. Obviously, I have to say this, the choice is completely yours. You're the one that is gonna live with her for the rest of your life. You, not me, not anyone else. Yeah. What do you guys think about this? Like, how would you react if your spouse confessed that they didn't love you at first, but now they love you? I feel some of you might have a completely different opinion on this, so I'm very, very interested to hear what you got. Next story. Am I the a-hole for wanting to end my marriage after I found out my wife cheated with a coworker? I, 32M, have been married to my wife, 29F, for 6 years. From the beginning, I've always loved video games, and at one point, I went overboard. After work, I would just play, even rejecting intimacy when she wanted it, while we were still in the best phase of our marriage. I didn't realize it back then, but now I see how much it hurt her. I also had phases where I wanted a divorce. I was immature, cold, selfish, thinking I was too young to spend my best years in a marriage. During these phases, I could be really harsh, with no sympathy. I even once used the situation to convince her to let me buy an expensive computer. I know I hurt her with that. This happened twice. The first time 3 years ago when my father passed away. The second time last month. After the second time, she said to herself she couldn't take it anymore. That's when her co-worker came into the picture. He told her he could give her what I wasn't given: attention, support, security. They messaged each other. He asked to meet and she agreed. She secretly met him before work while I was pulling double shifts. I didn't find out because she confessed. I discovered it by seeing messages on her phone to her friend. And in those messages, it wasn't just flirting. She was fantasizing about a future with him. She mentioned how she liked that he was well off. He bought an apartment. And the worst part, I would have children with him. That crushed me because we don't have children yet, but we plan to. She claims it was just one short kiss, that she cried afterward because she thought of me and left. But I can't tell. Does she regret it because she truly loves me, or because she just got caught? I know I wasn't a perfect husband. I neglected her, played too many games, acted selfishly, but I also carried her when she was sick, stayed up with her through fevers, was always supportive of her family as if it were my own, worked double shifts, cleaned the house. There were moments when I was truly a husband, not a stranger. Now she's suggesting a 1-month separation to think things over. If I forgive her, she says she will quit her job where she works with him because that relationship doesn't mean anything to her. I will give up gaming and we'll try for a fresh start, focusing on us and the children we wanted to have. If not, we separate. I'm completely broken. I don't know if I can get past this, if I can ever get past this. Am I the a-hole for considering ending my marriage instead of trying again? Okay, first things first. Both of you are somewhat the a-hole in this relationship. The only difference is to varying degrees. There is this hill that I will die on, that I will stand on at all times. And that hill says, I will never justify cheating. If someone is in a bad marriage, if someone has the worst marriage of all time, divorce or separation is the choice. It is never to cheat on someone you're with. I'm also not just, by the way, I'm not justifying being a shitty, neglective, cold, irresponsible, childish partner, which is the reason why I think both of you are the a-hole. From a man to another, I genuinely feel this relationship is not gonna work. When a woman you're married to says she wants to have kids from another man and how she sees a future with him, there is no therapy that is gonna fix that. You will always think about that, even at the slightest, most trivial hiccups in this relationship, and it's gonna eat you from the inside out. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but you and I know it's more than likely it wasn't just a short kiss, it was more than that, more than likely. But again, this is your life. Somehow your brain and your heart and your intuition, they already know the answer. So you should do what you're comfortable with, whether it's to take a time off and work on yourselves, like a couple of months of separation, or to part ways and move on with your lives. Good luck to both of you. Next story. My husband, 27M, told his friends about my miscarriage as a joke and now says I'm overreacting. I don't even know how to explain this without sounding insane. I had a miscarriage 3 months ago. It was early, but it still wrecked me. My husband, together for 4 years, married for 3, knows that. He saw how bad it was. I took time off work. I cried every day for like 2 weeks. I still have moments where it just hits me out of nowhere. Last night, we were at his friend's house with a few people drinking, and I went into the kitchen to get more ice. I came back, and his friends got weirdly quiet when I sat down. One of them looked horrified. Another one barely looked at me. Later in the car, I asked what that was about, and after a lot of pushing, he admitted he had made some joke while I was in the kitchen about how we already tried having a kid once, and even that one bailed. That was the joke about my miscarriage. He said everyone was drinking and it just came out wrong, and that I'm focusing on the wording instead of his intention. I asked what possible intention could make that okay, and he got irritated and said I always do this thing where I make him the villain over one bad moment. I started crying and he actually sighed at me. He said I'm acting like he cheated, when really he just made an offensive joke and already said he didn't mean it like that. But to me, it's not even just an offensive joke. It's like something private and painful that happened to my body got turned into material for his friends. I feel humiliated, and now I'm replaying all these moments where he's told stories about me in front of people, and I laughed them off because I didn't want to seem uptight. This morning he said I'm dragging this out and punishing him because I'm still grieving and need someone to be mad at. Fuck. That honestly made me feel sick. I genuinely cannot tell if this is one of those horrible but survivable relationship moments, or if this says something really bad about who he is as a person. First of all, I am so sorry to hear what you went through. A miscarriage alone is a traumatic experience by itself, let alone to have a partner like yours. And you basically summarized what I was gonna say in the last part of your question. It more than likely says a lot about his character. That joke he made says a lot about his character. I know people who have no issue cracking jokes that are both extremely hurtful and extremely inappropriate just to get a laugh from the people he's with. It has nothing to do with humor, has nothing to do with easygoing character. It only points towards the fact that he's an individual who has no empathy, who doesn't even have sympathy to you. Not even mentioning making a joke about a child that was going to be his firstborn, that was going to be his son or his daughter. And the icing on the cake is him turning the table on you and saying that you're exaggerated and that you're painting him as a villain. Bro, you are the villain. What the hell are you talking about? He doesn't even feel like he's done something wrong, which is like the most alarming part. It's not like he said something then realized it was a bad thing to say. No, he said it, he sees no issues, he's defending himself, and not only that, he's blaming you for getting upset. I have never seen such a terrible personality unfold in just few lines. My advice to you, lady, leave. That's it. I think that was the last story. Yeah. I don't even have words to finish this video up. These stories, they really make my blood boil. Take care, guys. Good night. We'll meet again.